Welcome, fight fans, to episode 98 of the Hooks In MMA podcast. We're back, baby, ready for UFC 300, two title fights this weekend in Las Vegas. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get it right into our best bets, and we'll see you at the cashier tomorrow night, Saturday night. To kick things off, Z-Balls, why don't you start things up, and I'll share my tapology, and we'll pop right into things.
Yeah, awesome. Obviously amazing early prelims lineup we have here, starting off with Davison Figueiredo. He always always have trouble pronouncing that one still, but even though he's still one of my favorite fighters going into this fight against Cody Garbrandt. Figgy is a heavy favorite at minus 334. Garbrandt underdog plus 250. Cody's chin is going to be a major factor here, no doubt about it. If Cody can stay patient, I think it will throw Figgy off and he'll be able to potentially win the fight. But if Cody sees red and starts winning out those looping hooks as he does sometimes, it's going to be a bad night for him. I think hard to predict always what Cody and what kind of Cody we're going to see. He's 3 inches taller though. Figgy does have a 2 inch reach advantage. Cody got KO'd by Kai Kara France at 125. So obviously the God of War can do it as well. But the difference being is that, Cody's back up to 135 now, obviously. He's going to be more hydrated, more fit. But Figgy himself is also going to be bigger than usual, more easily filling out his frame at 135. He was kind of killing himself to make that 125. So that's a bit of a wash there. But I still, I do see Figgy winning this. Winning most of the exchanges, being able to catch Cody on those on the exits from those exchanges. Figgy second or third round KO, depending on how patient Cody is, plus 162 by KO, TKO, or DQ. Looks like the juice for me. I mean, Figgy at minus 334, you're obviously not going to get a whole lot of value there. This is going to be one of my lighter plays of the night, but I am taking Figgy. Yeah, what are you boys thinking for that one?
Sony?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Everything you said. I do like the value with the finish, and obviously the 300K bonus announced by Dana White will, I think, encourage a lot more strikes. Not that these guys need it because they like to throw down and get finishes themselves. So Figueiredo by finish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to start the card off on a exciting note, I think. Both these guys, I think you could argue are past their prime, right? Figgy into his late 30s and Cody almost 33. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the line is a little bit wide in my opinion. I think it should be more of a pick 'em, but I might just lay off this one and kind of just get your popcorn ready and enjoy
Yeah,
hopefully a back and forth battle here in a war.
stay
So
neutral in the first fight of the night. Like don't go too heavy and
yes,
get too high or low either way. But yeah, no, I do agree. Even though I'm a huge Figgy fan and biased either way, it does. I am surprised by that line. Even obviously, Garbrandt is he's he's always been in danger. He's really been in danger the last couple of fights, and you just never know kind of what you're getting out of him. But it shouldn't be that high. I think the finish, if you want to go third round plus 700, that might be something. Do a small, just do a small play on there to start the night off. But that one, like I said, I have a better feeling about a few other ones that we're gonna take a look at here. So
beauty.
yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah, so we got Bobby Green and Jim Miller. Zone and I were talking about this earlier. Jim Miller's fought on UFC 100, 200, and now three. And obviously, Bobby Green is another fan favorite. So it's two well-liked, respected fighters, different points in their career, but certainly getting up there in age with Bobby Green, 37, and Jim Miller now into his 40s. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, no, this one is another tough one in my opinion to call. In my opinion, if I'm gonna lean anywhere here, I do like Jim Miller as a value at plus 150. Bobby Green was just knocked out recently, so I think it was just a few months ago. So I am a little concerned there. That's the only reason why. Otherwise, I would like Bobby go more and going into this fight, but there's just something about Miller and these OO cards, 100, 200. And he's been finishing a lot of young guys, right? So obviously, Bobby he's a wily veteran. He's not going to be falling into any traps. He's going to have the speed advantage. But Miller just seems to kind of just seems to be a scrappy guy still. And I feel like Bobby Green is kind of there's a lot of hype around him lately, which is granted because he deserves he deserves the hype. He was kind of not getting hyped up enough there for a few years, but now I think that the lines are a little heavy on there. If I had to take something, it would be Miller plus 150, but it's more of like a 55-45 fight, some 52-48% type fight for me at least. So yeah, Zoni, what are you thinking there?
Yeah, just really excited to watch the fight. Like both guys, love Bobby Green. He's one of my favorite. I think the speed does play a big factor. In his stand up, like Bobby Green, like one of the best head movements and footwork. If I'm not mistaken, they're both southpaw, so I'm interested to see how that works. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And just excited to watch. So in terms of, I think it's just a pick 'em in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna go light on Jim Miller just because he's a legend and the 100 luck we were talking about, and I do
Yeah,
see a nice super boost. It's Miller by KO, TKO, or decision, double chance at plus 200. I kind of like that. I could see this being a decision, 3 round decision, and Miller winning like a split because it will be back and forth. I think we can all
yeah,
agree on that. So
Yeah.
I
yeah,
like
this
that.
one, I mean, the whole card front to back is nuts, but this one for being so early is like, wow, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Um, Moving on to Andrade and Rodriguez. We were talking about this earlier, Zoni, Z's. I don't know if you had an analysis here, but over to you
No,
guys.
not really, not in depth for this one. No.
Zoni?
Yeah, I just like the reach and the footwork and the IQ of Marina. Um, Andrade still like the power is still there. That's never gonna go away. Um, I think it's a tough matchup for she's pretty
Yeah.
short, right? She has big looping punches, and I just think Marina's gonna hate to say outpoint, but I mean she's Andrade is also tough to finish. So I got Rodriguez because of the value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just money.
that's my that was gonna I don't have like in-depth analysis, but my pick 'em for this is Marina, especially as underdog plus 110. I really, really like her stand up. And Andrade, she's kind of on the kind of lower end of her career now, or older side of her career, right? So I do like Marina here quite a bit as at the plus 110. Again, these underdogs, man, all through
Yeah.
tonight, you're gonna be seeing. In MMA, it's like anyone can win, obviously, and it's pretty good matchups. The UFC did a good job, I think, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
interesting matchups. So, again, I think it's worth over the long run. I think it's worth it just to take the underdog here and hope for the best.
Styles make fights. That's what they always say, and this one's no different. There's a nice double chance on 365, Rodriguez by KO, TKO, or decision, plus 125. You're not getting too much extra value, but certainly those are the most probable outcomes are decision or finish, not sub. Okay, moving along, Jalen Turner and Moicano. This one could be fireworks. I'll just start there.
It would be
Uh,
insane.
yeah, what are you guys feeling on this match?
Yeah, I mean, not major analysis by me again either. Obviously, Turner is absolutely huge for this division, 6'3", I believe, and so he's just extremely long. But Moicano, I mean, he's been a consummate kind of gatekeeper there a little bit at the bottom of the or like sorry like lightweight division. He's been having some great fights, and I like him at plus 200 myself as an underdog. Even him by decision, I'm looking at plus 550. That's yeah, 550. That's not too bad. Him by KO plus 1400. Wowzers. But yeah, no, Turner's he's not KOing Turner. So, but yeah, no, I like the value there on my Moicano myself. What about you, Zoni?
I can't argue with the value there. He could definitely win. He's still shown that he's got it. Turner with his size though, and his length and versatility. I get why he's the favorite. I think it's a little bit higher than it should be. But I do like it. Like I could actually see Turner finishing him. But in terms of debating what you said, I can't argue that either. Like the value's there for Moicano, so no real suggestion for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's
him by
weird.
finish,
Yeah.
sorry, Turner by finish is minus 120.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad if if you're feeling that one. That's decent. Or even second round plus 375. You have to think Moyakano is probably gonna, at least hang out to the second round, I think. So plus 375 or round three is a plus 800 for Turner finish. So those look like those might be good values as well if you're looking to lean there.
Yeah, I don't think the money line's all that great value unless you take Moicano, right?
Mhm.
And honestly, Jalen Turner, I'm a little bit scarred by. He burned me pretty bad the Hooker fight. I know it's split decision, but like that was my lock of the night, I remember. And obviously Hooker got his hand raised. So yeah, I'm gonna fade Turner this time around, and we'll see if he can make amends for that Hooker loss. But this one I really think is going to be entertaining and back and forth. Turner's so long and athletic, and Moicano's just so skilled. So yeah, circle that one on your card. Moving along here, we've got Sadiq Youssef versus Diego Lopez. Don't know much about Lopez, to be honest. Youssef, I do know, but I don't really have any analysis unless you guys do.
Yeah, I got a little bit for this one. What I'm looking at, well, I'm definitely looking at Yusuf here as the underdog at plus 110. Lopez, he's the featherweight prospect everyone's looking out for at this point. He's huge for the division, 5'11, 73-inch reach, tons of experience, 29 fights. Most of them are out of the UFC, but he has been performing well in the UFC in general. He's extremely Lopez is extremely strong on the ground. He's much more vulnerable on the feet, leaves his chin out there a little bit too much, some lunging punches. It has been working out for him for the main, against the lower level guys in the UFC, but I don't think it's going to work against Yusuf. Yusuf's going to be more patient, stuffing those takedowns, not allowing Diego to catch him with something crazy. So, yeah, I think that's another one. It's going to be an exciting back and forth fight. Youssef decision plus 260 looks good to me as well for value. Or if you just want to take him straight up plus 110. But yeah, I don't like anything can happen, obviously. But I think this one goes back and forth and goes for a bit of a longer fight. We were able to see the end of the third round. But yeah, Zone, what do you think about that one?
I got nothing to say, man. Everything you said was great. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
going to be a great fight as well, in my opinion. Yeah, no, that's great.
Beauty.
Cool.
Let's keep her moving. So we've got the UFC debut for Kayla Harrison facing off with one of the legends in the organization in Holly Holm, Preacher's daughter. Z, how are you breaking this one down?
Yeah, and I don't have like too much in depth for this one, but what I will say is that Holly Holm is, I think she still has the skill, certainly. It's just the only problem is that she's like 42 years old or whatever she is. So she definitely is going to obviously have the stand up advantage over Kayla Harrison. But I will, obviously Kayla is most likely going to be the winner, but minus 450 she's at right now. Holly Holm a plus 350. Holly Holm by decision plus 600. I think that's good value there. Yeah, I just think it's going to be a good fight either way, but Holly Holm plus 600 decision I think has good value just because of how crazy this is. I guess they're just looking at like just how old Holly is, but it's kind of a reminder of a bit of the Ronda Rousey type stuff, right? Or matchup, right? Ronda Rousey say like same thing as Kayla, like more of a grappler or specialization there. Not great footwork. Same as Ronda Rousey at that time, like not great no head movement, all that sort of stuff. So maybe Holly Holm can outwork her, outpoint her, and get that decision win. But yeah, what are you thinking?
I like Harrison to win. Obviously, the the value of the money line's not great. My only concern for Harrison is she's been a 155 fighter her whole career, and now she's fighting at 135. That's a big drop. I know it's taken a while for her to transition from these weight classes down to, but that's a big concern. And if she can't control her in the first round and maybe get a sub into the later rounds, late second round, third round, what's the cardio like? That's my only concern. That's a big drop, and she said she would never do it. And then obviously UFC opportunity calls, the pay and the salary calls. So I mean, I get why she's doing it. She wants to fight the best, etc. But it's a big drop. I do think she does win, and I don't know what the value is for Harrison by sub. That would be my choice if it's not terrible value.
Plus
But
260.
260.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good.
what is it?
Plus 260. So,
Like
um,
that's where I'm leaning, but I could see, like you said, a home decision win, and that would be probably because the cardio is compromised because of the weight drop. But
yeah,
we'll see.
the later rounds definitely favor home. But I'm going the opposite. I'm picking Harrison to steamroller. I really like there's a super boost first round sub plus 600 for
Wow,
Harrison. And then if that's too risky
wow,
for you, I suggest taking there's a under 2.5 rounds fight result Kayla Harrison. So that one I like. That's plus 150. So obviously taking standalone money line minus 450, there's no point of doing that. Why not just go the plus 150 there? Or if you're feeling lucky, plus 600, 71 odds. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Go.
wow.
And Kayla here, I think oh yeah, I'm just re-looking at it right now. Former 155er women's champion Kayla Harrison makes weight for UFC debut 6 hours
Yeah,
ago. So
everybody made weight today, so that was
Yeah.
good. That's good.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You never
Awesome.
want to see any of these fights scrapped
Yeah,
or,
it's funny. Like the 300, this card's so stacked, and like not a single one gets scrapped. And then like other ones, we have like only two or three main fights, or like the Tony Ferguson and Habib debacles, and
Yeah,
they keep
yeah.
on getting fucking ruined every time. Now this one for it, like it's so stacked, but not even one gets
Dana
cut.
White might have said like 2 months ago, if you guys miss for 300, you're like cut from the organization or something crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
probably
yeah.
did.
True, true.
Probably
there's
did.
so
Something like
many
that.
pay-per-view buys on the line here, like the stakes are, you know.
Yeah,
So I think there's something to do with it being 300, put more pressure, but you're right.
that makes sense.
It's
Yeah,
relief to
yeah,
see that. Here's okay, so we talked about styles
Matt,
earlier.
Matt,
This to
Matt,
me arguably could be
shut
the
that door.
most
Can you shut this?
contrasted style on the entire card.
yeah.
We've got one of the best boxers in UFC with Calvin Kattar, and then obviously one of the best grapplers, the human backpack, Aljamain Sterling. Z, I know you've got some pretty
Yeah.
strong opinions on Sterling. I think we all do. So you kick it off here.
Yeah, no, I've lightened my mood on Sterling a little bit. I've lightened my mood on life in general, just getting older. But yeah, no, I think this is one of the most interesting fights of the evening myself. Calvin's welcoming Sterling to the 145 division. Kate, or I don't know, Qatar, Cater. I want to say Cater most of the time. I'm sure one of them's wrong, right? But Cater has more KOs. Sterling more submissions. Here, the thing is that Calvin's going to be much taller, longer, just bigger in general, which is very different for Aljo, who's used to being the bigger guy at the 135 division. At 145, though, he is going to be faster, the smaller guy, which opens the door for him to kind of latch onto the back, as Cronsbury alluded to there, and kind of get there and do his That's really a specialty. He's able to do it to 135 or so. I definitely think he'll be able to at least have a shot at 145. But that's the only avenue I see Sterling winning this fight. Cater will be able to fend off the takedown attempts, I believe. He's done it to bigger, stronger guys at the 145 division. He'll be able, one of the best jabs in the game, in my opinion. So I think he'll be able to pick apart Sterling. Aljo certainly doesn't have the power or at least I don't believe he does. Maybe he will at 145, who knows? But I don't think he has the power to kind of force Cater to back up that much. And as a result, the fight will kind of slowly get away from him. Cater straight up at plus 140, of course. I am into that. Again, underdog status. Decision at plus 280. Again, only 3 round fight. I know Aljo's obviously extremely talented fighter, so I don't see him getting out of there too easily. So Cater by decision, by close decision, I could see that. Maybe 1 round where Aljo sits out on the back, or just he out grapples him for most of one of the rounds. I could see that certainly. But yeah, I think the value is there for Cater. I do have a bit of a bias against Aljo. I'm willing to admit, but I do like that value on Cater for the underdog here. But yeah, what are you guys thinking?
What's the value for Aljo by decision?
140 plus 140.
That's where I'm leaning. Like
Yeah.
again, Cater could definitely win.
Yeah,
He's fought everybody. Like this isn't like he's not like welcoming a champion up to 145 and gonna be like he's not gonna be starstruck by it. So it's just another fight for him. It is a big fight though. Like if Aljo
yeah,
wins this, he potentially could challenge to Pereira. That could be the next match, and especially if he finishes him. But I'm leaning towards Aljo. Maybe not as an exciting fight as we'd hope, and I hope I'm wrong, but I like the decision for Aljo.
yeah,
If you can land some takedowns, I think Aljo grinds out a win. And I think that's the X factor. Can Calvin sprawl and have good elusive takedown defense? And if the
yeah,
answer is yes, I think he wins. If the answer is no, I think Aljo wins. So that to me is, what's going to determine the outcome. And I'll just give advice like don't take Calvin money line. I think that's kind of dumb. There's a double chance, him by KO, TKO, or decision double chance at plus 162. There's no
yeah.
world where Calvin gets a sub.
No,
I don't think he's going to win by decision or he's going to knock him out. So you might as well
Yeah.
go there and get 22 more cents on the dollar. So that's my pick, and I do like the underdog in Calvin, but this is
Yeah.
one of the closest fights I think on the card, and the style matchup is
Yeah.
really intriguing. So
And with Calvin, like his stock is down right now, which is obviously why he's
yes,
a larger underdog. But the Max Holloway fight, I mean, who's no everyone remembers that fight, but that was a learning lesson for him. He got much better, and that was shown in the Giga fight. Josh Emmett was a split decision. Many people thought he won that fight. Then he fights Arnold Allen, injures his knee. It is what it is. He lost that fight. So that I think the X factor for me overall is that knee injury. It's tough, and for any professional athlete, very hard to come back from knee injuries, especially combat sport athletes. So I think that's the X. Is his knee actually 100% going in here, or close to it? Then he has an excellent chance. If not, then yeah, it's going to be hard to defend those takedowns, and yeah, he'll most likely Aljo will be able to grind out that win. But yeah,
right
very
on.
interesting fight.
Yeah, so we've got one last fight on the prelims. So this is the main event of the prelims, and that would be Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. Yeah, two light heavyweight animals, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been going back and forth on this one all week. I've switched a bunch of times, so I'm curious to hear who you guys are leaning towards.
Yeah, for me, I'm certainly I'm leaning towards again underdog Yuri. But again, yeah, it's certainly a close, interesting fight. This is a crazy returning opponent for Rakic to come in. After being out for 2 years, coming back and facing Yuri is a very tough challenge. He's probably one of the most unpredictable fighters in the UFC. This is very much a chaos versus order type matchup here because Yuri is okay with anywhere where the fight goes, whether it be standing or grappling or halfway in between or whatever it is. He's always game for that type of fight. Rakic likes to much more likes to control the pace, right? Slow things down, get things in grappling and kind of stand up, or sorry, just like kind of clinching, sorry, kind of clinching the stand up against the fence, that sort of stuff, right? Slowing down the fight. So what will Yuri do with that? I think he's going to do something pretty exciting as he always does, but how will he respond? How will Rakic respond? That's the questions here. So I just personally, I think Yuri's capable wherever the fight goes. So I'm willing to take him at plus 100 here as the underdog. And I'll take a look at a few of the prop bets while you guys are talking. But yeah, what are you thinking there, Zoni, on this one?
Yeah, I would say out of any fight on the entire card, this is the one that I've teetered as well, back and forth. I think Yuri's the more dangerous fighter. I think Rakic is the smarter, higher IQ fighter. And I really don't know how it's going to play out. I am like I have no idea. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it could go either way. I'm leaning towards Rocket, but I've switched from Yuri all week, so I don't know. They always say trust your gut. My gut did say Yuri, but that shoulder injury is just stuck in my head, I guess. But what's worse, having that or a leg injury? I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
So should be interesting.
I'm just
haven't you had both, Crons?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I would say though the leg injury is worse.
Yeah,
So that might be fueling my Yuri gut feel, but I've already
yeah.
switched. So
Yuri
um,
plus a decision plus 650 jumps out at me immediately in terms of just like the values there. Yuri finished by KO or TKO is plus 175, like kind of nice, but I don't see Rakic, getting finished that easily, or either one of them. I see a more back and forth fight where they could potentially, a decent chance that they go to decision. Certainly a plus 650. I mean, if you parlay that with one of the other, like some of the other plus 400s or 500, 600s we said before, two of those parlay together, like that's some amazing juice on there. So I think you're able to throw a couple interesting things together with that Yuri at plus 650.
right on. Well, let's head on into the main card. We've got 8 minutes left to cover
Okay.
five fights. We'll be on a 90-second uh, schedule here.
Yes,
So
do it.
yeah, let's go right into I think everyone's lock of the week, Bo Nickel, I'll
Yeah.
assume. Would you guys
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah. I had anything major there. It's just Bo, the Can Crusher nickel. Go for
Yeah.
him. First round finish.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Dana, give this guy someone that could maybe have a standing chance, but certainly plus 1,000, you don't usually see huge underdog. So even Tapology is using those descriptors. Zoni, any thoughts on the Nickel Brundage fight?
Uh yeah, the fight is worth about a nickel.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's the line is just insane.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be kind of rooting for Brundage, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But just to shock what like crush some plans that the
Yeah.
UFC has, because really he's absolutely nothing to lose. The line's insane. Nobody expects him to win or even be competitive. Apparently, um, he does have a couple of decent wins,
Yeah.
but Bo Nickel's the hype train, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. Well, let's go to a closer one, and that would be Charlie Olive Sarukian. This one, I think, could go either way, but what do you guys feel?
Yeah, this one I am loving Charles Oliveira plus 175. That is major disrespect to Mr. Olives, and I will not take this disrespect on my watch. So everyone should be going heavy on Charlie Olives plus 175 in my opinion. Yes, Armin's powerful and explosive, but so is everyone else. Charles has fought Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gagey. Both Dustin and Justin hit extremely hard and are more skilled in the stand-up game than Armin is. And, obviously, talking about grappling, well, Charles was basically at stalemate with Islam before he got dropped. Islam is one of the best grapplers in the UFC, and Charles proved he can hang with him. I think Charles will be able to defend the takedowns or get out from the bottom if he ends up there. Armin has a very good, powerful overhand right, sneaky front leg, lead leg high kick, which will be new for Olives, but Armin's defense is quite rudimentary. Charles will be able to get through it, in my opinion. Ultimately, both guys can win this fight, but I do see value at Charles at plus 175. Double method plus 230 KO or sub, I think is nice for Charles. Personally, I also like the straight up KO, TKO, DQ at plus 600. That's a juicy one, a stand up or parlay. Charles has never been to a fourth round. It's very surprising with all the big fights that he's been in, but he's never been to a fourth round. So, how does that cardio work there? I'm not sure, but I don't think they end up getting there. I think it's just again an exciting back and forth fight, and Charles gets the finish in the second or third round.
This is a third 3 round fight though, right? Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
actually you're right. My bad. Yeah, yeah,
I think so. Yeah, but it's crazy to see like the lines plus 1,000 olives by decision. So like
yeah.
the book's not forecasting that at all. Even though I
True.
think there might be a world he wins
Yeah,
decision,
exactly. I
but
like that. Now I just
yeah,
realized that plus 1,000 actually looks juicy to
like
me.
plus 11
I don't
or
know why I thought
11
this was.
X. Yeah,
Yeah,
11. I don't know. That just something
yeah,
there. But I do agree, like
yeah.
Olives is getting disrespected by this line, frankly. I think this should be a pick 'em fight. Zoni, what do you think?
Yeah, I just know Sarukian really wants that Makhachev fight back, and he does pose probably the biggest threat to him. So um, I am leaning towards Sarukian. If you notice the last bunch of fights Olives has been in, are obviously firefights, right? He has been clipped in almost all of them. Um, and he in some of them has found a way to come back and win, but in others, it's kind of self destructs a bit. So I don't want to like burn the party on the Olives because I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I like him
Yeah,
more, and he's exciting.
that's fair.
I just think Sarukian's the smarter fighter,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's the type to get into one of those firefights. I really don't. But you never know. It's UFC 300, and
Yeah.
who the hell
Yeah.
knows?
And I just feel all he forces that. Like he leaves things open for people because he just stands in front, but he's willing to exchange with people, which is why all of his fights have been amazing. So it's hard not to get he forces people into that fight, but again, it can go 50-50 either way, I think. I just like that value of plus 175. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
good
we'll
value.
We'll
get
have
to
to
the next one.
speed three. Yeah, yeah, we got 2.5 minutes. So I'm just gonna say for me, Max Holloway's my pick. I like the dog plus money, and I just think he's the more technical and higher IQ fighter. So that's my insights there. What about you guys?
Yeah, for me, quickly, it's a tough one. I didn't have any major lean for this one, but I personally actually do like Gagey. I a Gagey decision plus 320 looks decent for me. It is a 5 round fight, but I think it will be back and forth. Max is just not made for the 155 division, not for the top guys like this. He's just not quite big enough. He did bulk up quite a bit. If you see him, he's fucking jacked now. He added muscle. How's that going to affect his cardio either way? But yeah, I just like Gagey at 155 because he's been destroying this division.
Sony?
Yeah, Gaethje's been murdering people, but I am gonna lean slightly to Holloway. Just uh, he has he ever been knocked out?
I don't
Holloway?
think so.
No.
No, no.
Yeah, and I
No.
mean, I think Justin, if he's gonna win, it's got to be by that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I'm just gonna lean Holloway,
cool.
Nice.
Let's move on.
but
We got
could go anyway.
only about a minute here, so I'm not even gonna click into Wiley. I'm
Yeah.
leaning with her. I think you
Yeah.
guys might agree, maybe not.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wiley's gonna crush her. She's better everywhere else. Her by finish or like KO, plus 160, or there's the double chance as well. I think that's good as well.
Nice.
I just got
So
to go with my gut. My
yeah,
biggest upset on the card. I'm gonna go with
with
Yan
you.
Xiaonan.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, I think that could happen. It's a championship fight, so 5 rounds. Okay, we got about 50 seconds here for the main event of the evening. Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill for the lightweight heavyweight championship of the world. Who you guys feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm going with Pereira on this one. Minus 138 actually looks like, a somewhat all right value to me. So yeah, I'm going with that.
Sony?
I, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Hill just with coming back, and I think he's really underestimated by a lot of people. Um, I don't have a stake in any guy. Like I just want to see a really good final fight after an amazing night of fights. So I'm just gonna go with Hill, just based on being a more of a mixed martial artist.
Awesome. We'll get your coin out. Let's flip it and enjoy the card this weekend. It's UFC 300, April 13th, and we'll see you at the cashier. Thanks for tuning in.